Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about text decoration. So here we go. Text decoration is a property on how you use to control the appearance of a text, a line on the text. So if you see here, we got text decoration line, text decoration color, the text decoration style, and the text decoration thickness. So we can add a decoration line to the text. So the properties can have one or more of the following values. So these are the values. First, you can go through none. It's display no decoration line. Underline, the decoration line is displayed under the text. The decoration line is displayed over the text. And the decoration line is displayed through the text. You can combine multiple values like overline, underline, and display even both of them. We'll have a look on how to do this. So over here we can see that we have a h1 tag and we have the text decoration overline. Just gonna remove all these so you can have a clear view. So you can see over here, overline text decoration. It has a line above the text. Now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the next text decoration, which is line through. You can see how the line through appears. It just strikes off the entire line. Now let's talk about underline. So underline means you already know that it's going to have under the text. Okay, a line under the text, a line over the text, and a line through the text. Next, we're going to see overline and underline together. I'm going to cut them all off. And you can see overline above the text and underline below the text. Now we're going to specify a color for this decoration line. You can see over here we have a text decoration line overline and we have a color for it. You simply need to give text decoration and the color and you can color the text decoration. You see over here for the h1 tag we have a text decoration line overline. And then we got here a line through. And the text decoration color is blue. Over here you can see the text decoration line. Over here we got an underline and the text decoration color is green. See over here we got overline as well as underline and the text decoration color is purple. Specify a style for the decoration line. So as we saw already, we saw about decoration line and we already saw these styles. Like these styles are similar to your borders and outline. If you haven't seen the last videos, you can go check them out. They're very similar to those. Solid is the default. Then you got double, which is for heading 2. And for heading 3, you got dotted style. And for paragraph, we got dashed. And another one for underline, we got wavy. And this paragraph has wavy. And then you can see over here, it's got underline. And the color is red. And the style is wavy. So next we're going to talk about the other things. Like the heading 1 text decoration line is underline and text decoration thickness is auto. This is by default, the thickness is auto. The text decoration line underline and text decoration thickness is 5 pixels. You can see in the next one. And the h3 tag, you can see I'm using percentage, so it is 24% thickness. And for the P tag, you can see that we have been using line underline and the color red, and the style is going to be a double, and the thickness is going to be 5 pixels. So when I say 25% of text decoration thickness, that means it will take 25% of your font size. If I say text decoration thickness auto, it depends on the browser setting, the default font size, and the text font size. It all depends on that. Okay, let's go down. The shorthand property for this one is text decoration line. Now this is a mandatory, and this is really, really compulsory when you want to define text decoration in your shorthand property. And the color, the style, the thickness are optional. So over here you can see text decoration underline. You can give right next to it red, right next to it the style of your text decoration, and right next to it the thickness. All links in HTML are underlined by default. Sometimes you see that links are styled with no underline. The text decoration none is used to remove the underline from the links like this. For example, you can see that all of these are links, but the none appear to be underlined. Why? Because they have applied this CSS property, text decoration none. You can see over here that we're given a link over here, w3schools.com. They've used text decoration none to remove this. Drag and drop the correct value to remove the default underline from links. You can simply use none. Text transformation. Text transformation property is used to control the capitalization of text in an element. It can be used to transform a text into uppercase or lowercase or capitalize just the first letter of each word without changing. These are the properties these text transform value takes in. The first property is none. The second one is capitalized. The third is uppercase and lowercase. So just by looking at this, you can easily understand none means there's no transformation. It doesn't really affect. Let me show you. You can see over here, uppercase text transform. You see this paragraph over here. This text is transformed to uppercase. The paragraph is given this text is transformed to uppercase in a normal casing that we usually type. But if you want to really convert that into an uppercase, you're going to give text transform uppercase. Lowercase. You can see over here, the text has capitalized the first letter of this sentence. This text is transformed to lowercase. When I give text transform lowercase, you can note in output that the entire case of the sentence is transformed to the lowercase. Text transform capitalize. If you give text transform capitalize, you can see over here the first text of each word in the sentence is transformed to a capital letter. Drag and drop correct property and value to make all letters inside paragraph element uppercase. To do that, we're going to be using text transform. And then we're going to transform everything to the uppercase. So we'll be using uppercase. Text spacing. Text spacing. To control the space of text, we got text indent, letter spacing, line height, word spacing, and white space. The text indent property is used to specify the indentation of the first line in a text block. Negative values are allowed, and the first line will be indented to the left if the value is negative. Let's have a look. You can see over here, we're using a text indent, and the first line is slightly moved towards the right. Now when I give negative value, it will move towards the left. You can see, notice here, that some of the words have been lost. What if I give -5 pixels? You can see over here, it tries to push it towards the end of this end of the screen as possible. The CSS letter spacing. CSS letter spacing property is used to specify the space between the characters in a text. Negative values are also allowed here. You can see over here, letter spacing. Letter spacing, we're using 5 pixels over here. You can see this is a normal text. We didn't use any letter spacing. But over here, after you use a letter spacing, you can see after each letter, you got a space. But if I use -2 pixels, you can see how close they are to each other. Let me try giving 2 pixels in positive value. You can see how much space they take. 0.5. You can also give that in decimal. And what about 1.5? When I give -5 pixels, you can see how they overlap over each other. So this is what they call letter spacing. Next, we're going to talk about line height. The line height property is used to specify the space between the lines. And you can also have a negative space, negative values over here. You can see over here, we got a paragraph and another paragraph. Okay? And we got the line height over here. You can see over here, the first paragraph is the normal standard line height. Okay? The default line height in most of the browsers is about 110% to 120%. When I have a smaller line height, you can see the distance between these two lines are very small, because we have given a 0.7. But when you give a 1.8, it's a little bit bigger in height. Let me try with percentages and see how it looks. Okay, this is how it looks in percentages. 120%. You can see over here, they look very similar to both, and they look like just default. But you can see over here, there's a bit of bit of less space over here between the lines. But what do I mean by 110%? Here you can see you have a font size of 20 pixels. So we're going to write 20. And the line height is of 110% divided by 100. So just a normal math over here. And you can see the line height is 22 pixels. You can see over here how both look same. Change the line height to pixel value. CSS word spacing property. The word spacing property is used to specify the space between the words in a text. Remember that line height is the space between lines, and letter spacing is used to specify the space between the characters in a text, and text indent is used to specify the indentation of the first line. So let's talk about word spacing over here. In word spacing, when I give 10 pixels, this is the normal default word spacing. This is a paragraph with the larger word spacing that's 10 pixels, and when I give a negative value, you can see over here that it has smaller word spacing. When I give a much larger, you can see they do overlap with each other. The CSS whitespace property specifies how whitespace inside an element is handled. This property can have one of the following values: normal, no wrap, pre-line, and pre-wrap. Let's see all of those properties now. You can see over here whitespace, no wrap. Using whitespace, you can see we have got a load of whitespace, and still they don't really show any difference, like they don't appear in the next line. So let me remove this entirely. And now let me run the program, and you can see over here, how do they look? They all look like we just typed them near by near. When I give this one, you can see that they come up. There's no will not wrap. That means they just appear in a single line. In this one, you can see over here, I've used the white space property pre. In pre, if you use pre over here, you can see that the text does not wrap, but the spaces are preserved and line breaks are preserved. Let me show you an example. Let's try giving this more space, and when I run the program, you can automatically see that the space is there and the line breaks are clearly visible. Now let me remove this property, and when I run the code, you can see over here that they do not appear with the space I've given, and also they do not appear with the line breaks that I've used here. The next property we're going to see over here is white space pre-line. In the pre-line property, you see here that it looks very similar to pre. But the one difference that you can notice over here, rather than p, is that the space that I've given is not there, right? So when you're giving spaces, it is not shown there. It's not seen there. It's just not preserved. But when I give line breaks, it is there. And that is what we call pre-line. The next thing we're going to talk about is pre-wrap. See over here that you don't see really a big difference. Okay? Here, spaces are there, the line breaks that you give is there, but the text also wraps. Drag and drop the correct property to increase the space between characters. So to increase the space between the characters, what we'll be using? So we'll be using letter spacing.